cognitive friction might be slowing down and ruining your conversion rates. Now, if you're ever looking at why you're getting people to land on your landing page, land on your website, you're getting clicks, people are consuming your content, people are consuming your lead magnets, but then you see that you're getting all that attention, but then you're not able to convert on it. You ask yourself, why are my conversions so low when my offer is set so well and I'm targeting and I'm running paid ads, but my conversions are still super low? One thing to look at is the cognitive friction that you have set up throughout your funnel. Now, this type of friction essentially is the mental process a consumer takes to understand your product, understand your offer, even your content. It's the mental process that they go through to understand and then guide them and persuade them to make a decision like purchasing, right? So we need to understand how cognitive friction works, how we can do less of it and be able to increase our conversion rates, right? So in today's video, I'm basically going to be breaking down that step by step on how to remove all cognitive friction and really ensure that all the people landing on your websites, on your landing page, are going through the full process, and in return, you're getting you're getting your conversion rates up, right? So my name is Andrew, and I help content creators push out their info products. I help them push out their services to their audience. So I hope this video is helpful for y'all. I hope that this is going to maybe clear up some questions on why maybe I'm not getting the conversions I need. And yeah, so we can hop right into my Notion board and then we can really just break this down. All right, guys, enjoy.
I bet. So now we are inside my Notion board. Like I said in my little intro, we're going to be briefly talking about how to increase your conversion rates instantly with the CRO concept. Now, CRO is short for conversion rate optimization. So throughout this video, we're going to be shooting to optimize our entire funnel with this concept to make sure that it is as smoothly and easy for the customer throughout the whole process, right? So cognitive friction might be ruining your conversion rates, not only on your landing page or sales page, or even when you're trying to get out a lead magnet, anything like that, but even in your content as well. So from the jump, from the very first point that a consumer takes, that when they first consume your content for the first time, it is essential that we have our CRO completely optimized so that the process from the very first time they consume your content to then becoming a paying customer, it needs to be as smoothly and easy for the consumer as possible, right? So cognitive friction, right? So friction is basically how much mental processing and mental efforts is required to interact with and to purchase from your website, right? So a couple things that affect our cognitive friction, right? So it is how hard is it to navigate your website, your landing page? Is your content clear enough and simple to process? So these are some questions that we need to ask ourselves. Are you providing clear instructions / actions to take? Are your CTAs clear? Are your lead magnets, are they actually helpful? When someone goes through the process of collecting a lead magnet, are they going to have a good experience, right? So these are all things that we have to pay attention to, especially as a business owner in creating all this. We need to make sure that customer satisfaction is our #1 priority, right? From our very first content to the last step when they purchase it, we need to make sure that they are good with it and they understand how basically how your brand works, right? So even down to the actual value of content, you have to optimize for conversion rates. Is your content easy to watch? Is your content easy to understand? Is it easy to take action when they see that video, right? So when building our offer, even with our offer, we have to optimize for conversion rates. When building our landing page, we really want to focus on the cognitive ease. The other side of it, we want the process of someone clicking on your first video to start interacting with your landing page, lead magnet, sales page as smoothly and easy as possible. So this is what we call cognitive ease, right? So going back to our offer, we have to make sure that our offer is also optimized for conversion rates. If we have this long offer that doesn't really make sense, or it's not what the customer is looking for, or it's not providing all the value necessary, that's going to really slow down the process of essentially selling your service or info product, or essentially any offer that you're giving out, right? So Cognitive ease, right? So cognitive ease is essentially the opposite of the friction. This is when your landing page or your offer is fully optimized to have a smooth flow and a very easy to understand, right? So our goal when building out our offer or our landing page or even our content is to have as much cognitive ease as possible, right? So to optimize our conversion rates, I broke it down into each step a prospect takes from first consuming our content all the way to investing in a high ticket or a high info product, right? So from the very first step, when a consumer or a prospect is first introduced to our brand, introduced to our content, they have to go through a certain step in their mind that they take where it's, do they understand, is it easy to understand, is it actually helpful, is it bringing them value, right? So these things that we do in our mind, we do them subconsciously where we're thinking, is this the right fit? And then if it's the right fit, that's what's gonna make them stay on your brand, maybe check out a couple reels, maybe go to the YouTube, something like that. Or that's when they decide, nah, like that's not for me, it's not bringing in value, so they're just gonna keep swiping or they're just gonna click off the video, right? So from the jump, from the very first interaction a prospect has with your brand and content is the only deciding factor that will determine whether that prospect is going to invest into your brand, not just financially. We need to get them from the very first content to decide whether they want to essentially work with us. And it's not so much any viewer is going to automatically buy your what you're offering, like your program or your info product. It means that you basically have to sell the content. They're like, okay, this is actually helpful. Now let me actually go follow them. Let me go subscribe. Let me go sign up to the newsletter, right? So it's really just, so it's crucial for your content and your front end brand to be fully optimized for conversions, or else you're not gonna, from the jump, you're not gonna get anyone to actually consume your content. And if they don't consume your content, they're not gonna consume, let's say, your value or your lead magnets or your free trainings. If they don't consume that, then how are they gonna consume your high end offer? So essentially, we can accomplish this by providing high actionable value that is actually providing solutions. We can provide tips, answering frequently asked questions, and overall just valuable content that when a prospect lands and consumes that content, they will be willing to invest their time and energy towards it, right? So here are some quick content ideas so you can do like a quick tips or helps. You can answer frequently asked questions, long form educational value like this video, and you could also share testimonials and case studies to really hook on the hook on the consumers, hook on the prospects. And like I said, from that initial stage where they first get introduced, we really got to sell them on that, and then they'll be able to start moving down the funnel into our programs, into all of that, right? So those are some content ideas that you can start implementing into your brand today that will increase conversions, right? Remember, the content we provide needs to be as easy on the brain as possible. It's got to be consumable and actionable that will also hook their attention, right? Now, this may seem like a lot, but it's honestly just providing valuable content up on the front end, straight value, straight sauce, straight helping them with their pains, with their desires, and then in the back end, pushing out our lead magnets, signing up for our newsletter, a free training, etc. Right? So also when creating content, we have to choose the right hooks, the right storyline, calling out our audience and providing solutions to problems. This will also increase conversion rates from your content, right? So one thing to think about is that conversion rates don't only mean monetary conversions or money in exchange for a product or service. Content creation, content conversions is also real. Getting someone to click on your content and then consume more content is another type of conversion. So when we look at this CRO, the conversion rate optimization system that we're placing in here in the strategies is providing that conversion rates, getting those conversion rates from the initial first content, right? So what has personally helped me with my CRO is rethinking of every step in my content funnel as conversions that you essentially have to sell the next step. So from the very first video that you see of me, my goal should be, and your goal should be, to then have to sell the next step. What's the next step after someone consumes your content? watch more content? What's the step after they consume more content? Is them for them to follow? Is for them to send you a DM? Is them for them to comment, to engage with you? So we have to look at every step and see how we can optimize for conversions, right? So interacting with your content. So the next step of CRO, after getting attention and getting someone to first consume your content, you sold them on that part, so now they're consuming more content, is then to maintain that attention and essentially nurture their prospect as we go, right? So how we can optimize the cognitive friction of someone continuing to come back for content is by continuing to provide that value-based content, understanding your market to solve problems and provide solutions, and overall interacting with the prospects. So some ways you can do this is, for example, if you receive a comment, interact with that comment, DM the person who commented, and then start building a relationship. You could set up some story polls, story interactions, really trying to keep your prospects engaged and keep giving them value. And then literally asking your audience what kind of content or help they need is also a quick way to get more conversions, right? Because essentially you can ask what they want, give them what they want, and then they'll be happy. Everyone will be happy. So these are all ways we can keep attention after first gaining their attention, right? So this is how we retain their attention. So after a prospect has interacted with your content, after becoming aware of it and consuming it, they will start to build KLT. They will begin to know, like, and trust you. And then what we can do with that is use that KLT to further push our prospects down our funnel, continuing to convert, right? So providing case studies and testimonials is a great way to convert and to maintain attention and get the prospect thinking about your brand, right? Social proof, having that authority, building that authority, all these things will work together and increase your conversion rates, right? So after we get attention and we was able to maintain that attention and in the process, and now we are in the process of nurturing that attention, we can start by giving clear actionable steps that have the least amount of friction. Remember, friction is the mental processes that we go through to make a decision. So if, for example, I'm scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, it's very short form content. So I'm really just skimming. I'm just really just sitting on there, just going through each piece of content. Your content has to be valuable enough that when they're going, they're going to stop. When they're scrolling, they're going to see your content, consume the full thing, stop what they're doing, focus on that, and then go click on your profile to go follow you. So that's essentially what we want to do. So an example of what not to do is sending your prospect to a landing page that is very overwhelming, flashy images, a lot of edits, too much copy, trying to sell too much off the bat. So this is why we have to include that value, because, for example, if we send someone directly to a sales page, that's a lot of friction for their brain. They're like, I was just on Instagram. Why am I getting sold on 5 different products, making me watch 3 different training videos? Like that's not what I signed up for, right? So this will create a lot of friction, right? So these are essentially the steps that they take. I really just broke it down. So from the jump, it's prospect continues to consume content. The prospect will then interact with your content. They will have to take action from a call to action, a CTA, to receive a free training video, for example. They click on the landing page link to get that training. They land on the landing page, then then you usually ask for their information, and then they receive a free training after that. So that's a calm 7 to 8 step phase. So that's something that someone's willing to do. So each step is essentially friction because it is made up of a sequence of steps. So if a prospect isn't qualified enough, they will not be willing to go through all those steps. So that's also how you're able to qualify, right? So after they receive the lead magnet, in this example, the free training, they are now on their way to make a purchase. The next step after depends on your actual offer. So I actually created a step-by-step breakdown on building an irresistible offer. Now your offer needs to be clear and actionable, and the only way people will listen to your offer if it solves their biggest pain or problem, right? And since you already built authority by following the step-by-step CRO strategy that I just went over, they will be ready to listen to your offer and potentially invest, right? So this all comes down to the friction of the offer and essentially the mental process they go through when reading your offer, when engaging with your offer. And this is why I created building an offer that goes into this. So go watch that video And then after you create your offer, you start pushing it out through your content and lead magnets, right? So that's when the offer needs to essentially sell itself. Basically, give the value for free, give the implementation and steps for free, but charge for the implementation. This is going to really lower the cognitive steps that they have to go through, right? Because they're getting all this value, they're getting all this, all they're consuming all this good from you for free. So they're not doing anything. But then when you're able to give all that for free, and now you're like, okay, if you need help, here's my service, here's my product, they're going to be more inclined to work with you, right? And then since you will also be collecting testimonials and case studies as you go, proving that your systems work, the offer will sell itself to the point where you won't even need to make a sales call to even close a high ticket client, as maybe you're doing right now, right? So that's basically it for the breakdown, but essentially it's get attention and really retain that attention by providing the least frictionable content you can. I don't even know if that's a word. It's a word right now. But yeah, like you really need to focus on the mental processes that your consumers will go through when consuming your content and seeing if you're able to convert from the first time they see your brand to then the final time where they're able to make a purchase. So that is it for today's video. I appreciate y'all for sticking through if you made it to the end. Like I said, my name is Andrew. I basically help content creators scale and sell and market their info products or their service-based businesses. This is how this video was on increasing your conversions instantly with the CRO concept, and I hope y'all enjoyed that. Hit me up on IG if you have any questions, if you need extra help, any more value. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Peace.